We're here with Brian Venable.
Hey.
How often do people mispronounce your last name?
Not as much as they used to because it is become sort of common, I guess.
Right.
But high school, grade school, Vegetable, Venable, Venereal.
Okay, I was going to ask what the most common thing was. But
Yeah.
or the weirdest.
Venable was always a fun one. Well, the one it is I guess there's a real word called venerable, which is like venerated.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, Brian Venerable. I'd be like, you're a teacher. There's no R in there. It's just Venable.
Well, I got, even today, when I was buying something, I got Leah.
Yeah.
I get Leah, Leigh.
Yeah. Now my name is Brian because my mother was named Virginia, and they called her Gina, and they nicknamed her Gina Little Bridger, which I guess in the 60s or whatever. But she was like, he's not gonna have a name that can be nicknamed. And I told my friend G.R. Smith, and he immediately was like, Bry. And till that man died,
He called you Brian.
he called me Bry. And other people would be like,
awesome.
Bry. And I'd be like, I'll fight the three of you. He can say it. Y'all need to take it down a notch. No, I got stuck with Venable.
My dad was Lee as
Yeah.
well. And so until I was almost 18, the family would call me Little Lee. Once I'm
Yeah.
over 18, you got to stop this.
Well, that was the thing. My dad was Guy Jr. and Guy Venable Jr. Guy.
Yeah.
And so that was the one thing that both of them were like, he is not going to be Guy the Third.
Yeah.
I'd have to take up fencing and like.
Yeah, I'm Leigh Ramsdell the Third. It sounds like I should have some kind of.
It's a title, man.
Yeah.
You're an evil duke or
I'll take Evil Duke over over the prestigious.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It just sounds just enough where you're like, oh, you steal land from people and put Robin Hood in jail or some kind of crazy shit.
All right, well, let's start from the beginning.
All right.
Where were you conceived?
Probably White Station High School. No. Memphis, Tennessee. My parents were 17 and 19.
Okay, you had
So,
the young parents.
I lived with my grandparents kind of scenario.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm Memphis born and raised.
Have you lived anywhere else?
I lived in Minneapolis for a year or two on and off. And that's about it. Like, I've traveled all over. I've stayed months and months and months at places.
What is it about Memphis?
It's home. I think that was the joke was always like, anywhere you're from is the greatest place in the world. We just happened to be Memphis, which had its own extra crazy. So it's our briar patch. It's like, you're going to get robbed. You're going to get mugged. I'm like, oh, or we're going to eat really well and have abandoned buildings. It's going to be fun. Or, I've still said it as like, if somebody's in Toledo, Ohio, and there's 12 people making art, riding bikes, doing crazy, starting bands, I could live there. We could make it happen. But it's easy to come back to. That's why we're notorious for bands, traveling people. Like, you'll pass through town, and all of a sudden you're like, you live in a house with 8 other people, your rent's $25 a month, y'all all work at the donut shop or Pizza Hut, nobody goes to college, you can live for nothing, and you just roam around. And people would be like, I was on my way to the East Coast or the West Coast, and now I've lived here for 30 years kind of thing. And so we had a scene, we had a culture, not the Memphis that everybody in the world knew, but like.
Right.
But yeah, it was always funny. I'd go hop trains, ride buses, catch rides, but I'd be somewhere and be like, man, we've got 2 really good Vietnamese restaurants. Our thrift store is pretty handy, and it's cheap to live. I was like,
that's all you need.
It's better. It's just as good or better. Like, New York's fun to visit, but I couldn't imagine trying to live there.
Yeah, it would be a lot.
Just a lot. Everybody kept trying to move to Portland. They're like, it's mountains and a beach. I'm like, you're going to work 3 jobs. You're never going to see either one of those except as you drive past it to go to
those jobs,
your third shift job somewhere or something.
And the day you're off, it will be raining.
Or just something crazy. I'm just saying, but you know what I mean? But I love seeing other places, I guess. I mean, we just came back from New York, and I was walking around with a friend that I've known forever. And I was like, I don't know, it's losing its allure. I mean, I've been coming here since 94. And I don't know, they're like, oh, it's getting cleaner. I was like, it might be, I'm 55. Yeah. Like, I'm not looking to go sleep in Riverside Park, or we're not going to go to a warehouse party in Williamsburg anymore. Like,
yeah, that's, I don't want to say sense of adventure, but kind of is
well,
down
it's just
more,
like,
you get comfortable, you know exactly what you
like. Well, you
like.
go, and it's like they've built up around it. You're like, I remember, like, and that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like, I'm always looking for something new, but I'm also kind of like, I bought the biggest toy in the world. I might as well sit in it for a little while.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
know. So, but yeah, it's just Memphis. And you have that allure of like, oh, you're from Memphis. You must be scary, or you must be weird and tough. And you're like, yeah, we'll say that.
Well, what's your connection with BMX? How did that start? Because you used to skate, right?
Before skating, and this is just tenuous at best, but it's like in my world, you grew up wanting to ride. You got a bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, our age, it's like I grew up with a Team Murray X2000, and that is black with gold trim. And somehow I wrecked it and ripped the pedal off. So I had to learn to ride it like push with one pedal and hit the top.
Yeah, yeah.
I got real good at it, you know. But all your friends had the red lines, had the Stu Thompson. It's just like I grew up in that, maybe the golden BMX Plus, and
yeah,
you know.
when I grew up.
Yeah, like I'm saying, we
yeah,
grew up
yeah.
in this where it's like my friend Shannon Payne, like he wore the pads and rode the stuff before he started skating, but like he had the Diamondback that weighed 12 ounces or something, like just skinny tire, like.
Yeah.
But we grew up with a certain, you know, rad and this and that, and you know, and then I started skating, yeah, and then I was like, I skate. Bikes are for getting from A to B or whatever. He's like my little brother, Andrew Leggett. He made the first Lucero movie. He was a BMX kid. I think the joke is he would teach me to ride BMX, which sounds funny to say, but I'd teach him how to play guitar. Because I just rode around. I never did tricks. You know, like you might jump a little ramp or something, but that was me personally. I met Andrew, but at the same time, Ryan Corrigan, who grew up in Little Rock with Ben and all them,
Yeah.
he started using Red 40 songs at first and then Lucero songs in the FBM videos.
So it was Corrigan is kind
Corrigan
of
got us
catalyst
into
yep.
the thing. So yeah, our first real like, oh shit, where I met everybody was, I guess it was Austin. Corrigan had a contest. He put on, it was
Was it the T1 FBM contest?
possibly.
Was it in an indoor skate park?
Crazy stuff. Chase Hawk was like this big.
Yeah.
And he flew across to something and ate his face off.
Yeah, you heard his knee. Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah, everybody. I'm saying.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
everybody
cool.
was
Yeah.
at that one, right? And we didn't know any of y'all. I met Crandall in the parking lot.
That seems right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I mean, he was
Yeah.
slinging shirts or doing whatever. And then we played the Ritz later that night. Us and This Bike is a Pipe Bomb. I could be completely mixing a lot of these up because there was a Albert Street or another party that we played, but I think we flew up to upstate New York and played that.
Yeah, that seems right. 'Cause that's where Albert Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
But that was where we were like, okay. And we got to hang out. We were hung over as fuck. But it was just like crazy. Before all this for a second, I didn't know that bikes got real, like S&M bikes. Like I had a friend in the punk rock days that his dream bike was this S&M bike.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, again, Mongoose, Diamondback.
the big brand name.
Yeah, like that's all I knew from the 80s, you know. And then different people kept putting us in their thing. We became the default. I mean, you can't throw a rock at a props from a certain years that Lucero wasn't on it. But yeah, that particular one in Austin was where we met everybody.
Why do you think BMXers were kind of drawn to you guys?
I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't know if it's always like this or if that just happened to be a weird time. Y'all were crazy. You know what I mean? Like, not like, oh, do tricks crazy, but it was like, even if you didn't drink, which it seemed like most of y'all drank.
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah,
It's interesting because we have this lore for some people that we were like this quiet, pretty country band. But I was all like, I just showed my son and his friend the rock and roll thing. We went out with Thunderlip.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they still alive? Are they doing well? I'm just saying, they were nuts. That guy would rip his pubic hair out, light it on fire kind of shit. But you watch those shows and it's just like, you know, like we were just, and that bootleg footage from the All Time Low maybe is what it was. We went up to up north and we played and just wheelchairs, stage diving and booze and chainsaw. Like, you know, you're just like, because now I feel like young BMX kids are like, yeah, no, that's like my dad's band, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know that they are like doing it for Albert Street as they eat light bulbs and set things, blow up cars.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
wandered into this culture. Basically, that Austin show, and then the video premiere, where it's the first time I'd been on a plane since I was 6. Like, Crandall flew us in the smallest airplane. Like, he didn't, but he paid for, like, they paid to fly us up. And that was another, like, oh my God, how are we still alive? Like, not just the plane, but the amount of drinking and the breaking things and the whatever, but not musical, or somehow or another, we were the embodiment of y'all.
I still, whenever I come to you guys, I'm always seeing a BMXer there.
That's the thing, is it's getting, everybody's growing up at least, but that was our biggest, like, oh, they're gonna shut us down. Like, when the BMX kids showed up, you're like, there's gonna be 12 kids here. They're going to try to fight the other 500-600 people, or whatever, or get kicked out or break things. Like Detroit for us, I forgot what those kids in Detroit are called. They had like a little clique and they had a name, like the guy Jesus took pictures. Like, it was amazing. Those BMX kids in Detroit, they outnumbered everybody, but it was like bloody socks and flying off stage and broken glass and but you just knew it was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good, And sometimes you're like, all right, you can quit throwing beer on us now.
Sure, I'm sure that gets old.
The older we got, they were a little behind us in the quit throwing shit at us kind of thing.
Well, yeah, because the guys that were watching you on props were the younger generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a lag for us. And that was what was crazy. And then it was fun, like I'm great friends with Crandall. Like, I've met so many people, but I remember, he was passing through, but everybody would always cut through to either do that or go to Austin or back. So I always end up having a house full of people. But I just remember the first time Steve was driving down solo, and I didn't really know him except
when he was still living in New York.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This would have been 2002, maybe. But I started drinking 3 days ahead of time because I only knew, nowadays I see it as cape and tights. Like, when the cameras are on or the show's on, you do the stuff, woo, look how crazy I am. And I was like, I'll die. I can't,
I can't keep up.
I can't keep up. I have to practice. And he showed up and he's like, oh, we can just watch a movie and chill. And I'm all here like,
you're like, I've been doing this for
fucking
you.
son of a bitch, And that's kind of where it was awesome, to where, especially with Steve, it was neat to watch prospectively. We could watching FBM be workings and Lucero, it was the same. It's just music and bikes, but
kind of like a DIY.
But we had started this business and we were trying to make it work, and so it was fun to kind of for me, it's like Leland's the other, he's the uncle. And but we were in Las Vegas for Interbike. Not for us. We were playing a show, but Interbike was happening. And this club was way the fuck out of the way in some shopping center.
Oh, yeah. Something dirty. Yes, I know the one though.
I've been to it. Yeah.
Blackjacks or it
was something
to
where they all jumped in a cab or two and showed up, and they threatened a lot of standard people they stole a shopping cart, pushed it through, and made people throw money in it for us. That was funny. And then somewhere in this situation, when I really met Leland for real, was he was laying down in a parking lot and he was just laughing. Ah! And you're just and that's the first time I'd seen Flaherty, Louisville kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he had broken his arm riding, but he also had he had cancer with his eyes on. And we were just what the fuck wreck did he get in? We didn't know that the two were separate.
Yeah.
We were just I'm never riding,
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the meeting. And then again, being in Memphis, which is the great part, is whichever way you're going.
Well, just like me.
Yes.
Out going to Bentonville, and I'm
yeah.
Oh shit, I know somebody.
That's what I'm saying. For me, it's always we have a roommate now, but there's always a spare, you and whoever would show, that's always the fun thing, is the big old FBM murder bus would show up, or the Leland's gold minivan or whatever thing.
Yeah.
And that was funny because everybody wants to go look at the spooky build Angel of Death, or they want to find some video, or they just, and then, oh golly, who was it? This is way before I was even married. There was Derek, the Maniac.
Oh yeah.
Some kid had wrecked his bike, didn't have handlebar plugs, and he had gored his calf. And they were trying to, I was like, it's just like watching, bless their hearts, so to speak. But they were like, Derek's like, we're going to have to cauterize that. And I'm like, this kid was 15, 16, 17. Derek was probably 20, like a grown man and a teenager.
Yeah.
And there was no other grown people to be like, but he took my fireplace poker and set it in the gas fireplace for like a day. It was like, it went beyond red. It went back to black. Like it was.
Yeah.
And that kid was like, okay. And I'm all like, finally I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, I thought it was like, ha ha ha. They were going to cauterize that fucking wound. And I was all like, no, we're going to the Walgreens and we're going to get clean bandages and we're going to get Neosporin and maybe some Bactine or, the betadine. You're not going to lose the leg on this trip.
Imagine that flesh smell in your house.
Well, it's like, we're going to do it out in the fucking yard. They're not doing that shit in my house. But it had rained. He stuck that thing in the mud. It steamed for like a day and a half. That's how hot that thing was.
Man, that we're going right through the kid's leg.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's dumbass on dumbass crime. But yeah, we just kind of grew up with all you guys. Yeah. And that's basically, we were the band equivalent of y'all.
So, all right, these are some questions from Crandall.
Oh, fuck.
So, first he wants to know, how low can you bunny hop?
Lower than him.
Well, how many drunk BMXers have you met?
Oh, gosh.
All of them?
All of them, yeah. No, I literally think that I've met every one of them.
How heavy is your bike?
Number one, you can fuck right off. You know how heavy that bike is.
Yeah, he made it.
Basically, it is, I think it's like 17 pounds or something.
There's no way.
It's fucking everything.
17 pounds is a light bike. It's probably 40 pounds.
Oh, it might be 40 now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That kink, I don't know how much that kink weighs, but I feel like I can lift it up with one finger.
Well, after lifting your bike, yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. So yeah, I have no concept, but it was.
Yeah, we're going to go take a look at that in a little bit.
Yeah. No.
Have you ever gotten a tattoo by Matt Hoffman in Ohio at a Motel 6?
I got the first one.
All right.
And there's a 1 underneath it.
That was it from Crandall.
Yeah. Woo.
What was the last new band that you got into?
Man. Right now, the greatest band that's playing is Homefront. That is literally hands down. They're on the 3rd record. They still play show. It's phenomenal. But I listen every Friday night. I go on Apple Music and I look up all new bands. And whatever I find, if it's punk rock type stuff, I'll go to Bandcamp and buy the record. I listen to so much new music, but Homefront is right now the best band playing. What
band did you used to hate that you're kind of surprised you like now?
Golly, that's embarrassing. There's so many. I'm so opinionated. I kind of circled back to where I don't like them as much, but growing up, I was like, the Melvins suck. But I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and I was not on the right drugs or any drugs. And then at some point, I was cleaning out the garage, had a few beers, and I put it on, I was all like, oh. And there's like those 3 records in a row that are great. There's all kinds of bands that, like, my friend Matt Bradley, who's Matt Bradley with the Broken Teeth, who plays in a band now, everyone asks about you, he would come home with stuff and I'd be like, that's terrible, that's awful. And then like 3 years later, to be like, hey, that band, that was awful. It's fucking amazing. And he'd be like,
It's funny how that your brain sort of switches.
Well, it should.
But actually, when I first heard, I didn't first hear. Tennessee was the first album I heard with you guys. But I remember Tennessee was the first one. And then I do remember hearing the first album.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. But then I went back. I actually have the vinyl of that one. I'm like, well, this is good. I like this.
Well, that's the joke.
It's like something about it.
It's Metallica for me. I grew up on Ride the Lightning. That was my first one. And then Master of Puppets, I was like, this is the greatest one ever. And then Kill 'Em All is now the one I'm all like. And so you just have to work your way back. And again, the first Lucero record was demos, basically. Like, Ben sang live on the floor. And then Tennessee, we were like, one of those songs has like 21 guitars on it. Like, Cody Dickinson was producing it, and he'd been hanging out with Oasis somehow. And so he was all like wall of noise. So yeah, between the two, it's like listening to an Edison wire.
That's why I always compare you guys to Oasis. No, I'm joking.
Well,
I'm joking.
you know what I'm saying? But those two records back to back were so far apart sonically that like, if some people didn't like Tennessee when it came out because it was too produced. Crazy.
What year did you guys?
98.
98. I did hear on a different podcast, not as good as this one, that you learned how to play the guitar.
Yes. That's the whole joke. I'm not the worst guitar player in the world.
No, you haven't heard me. So you.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. But for where I am at, I'm probably not playing up to my pay grade or whatever. But yeah, no, I didn't know how to play guitar.
What was the first song that you from Lucero that you?
I mean, it had to have been one of the first 6. So it was like Into Your Eyes or something. You know what I mean? Like, he would show. He came over. Ben came over for. It was just me and Ben at first. He's like, I got songs. I was like, I got songs. It was me trying to be like, ding, ding, dong. He showed up with like, not supposed to see. I'm all like, shit.
He could play guitar.
He could play. Yeah. He played bass in Red 40. He's a musician. Everybody in the band was a musician before Lucero. I was not. And that was the beauty of, like, obviously it's not comparison, but when you hear about how like John Frusciante joined the Chili Peppers and learned to basically play guitar while he was, I mean, I'm sure he played before, but
yeah, he
learned to play with the Chili Peppers, like that was his, you know, and I learned to play with Lucero. And, but yeah, if we had 5 songs, that's what I could play on guitar. There was no jamming. There was no like, hey, we're going to do some covers. And be like, y'all have fun. I'm going to go get drunk. And so, yeah, so that was the beauty of it is like, every time I finish a solo or something crazy, I'm like, it's still like, you know, that's the job. I bought this house because I decided, I mean, again, it was the punk rock. It's like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of it is like, yes, at the time, I did not know how to play guitar. I understood the fact that you pressed wire onto wood and you strummed.
Right.
But yeah, I know that. Jim Dickinson, when we were, he's like, it's crazy how, like, it'll be a major chord and you're just playing this minor, you know, scale. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that the hashtag meant major versus minor. I just saw A.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so jokingly, I was notoriously trying to start a band just for the hell of it. And Ben did not know not to start a band with me. Most everybody's like, oh, it's Brian. He's always trying to start a band. And Ben's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. You know, and I'm all like, now drag them in slow. All these people do 20, 30 bands before they find one that sort of works for a little while. I end up in a band that's like, your first band, 20. That's the other thing. You can just quit bands. You can stop playing. But I don't know how to do that because it's like, Lucero was like getting married. We've been,
yeah.
You know, so now it's like, oh, we can just stop being a band.
You had your like one little brief period of separation and then you get back together.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always when you meet your grandparents that have been married for 60 years, they're like, oh, from 72 to 74, we didn't even talk to each other. We still live together. You know, like, it's never smooth, you know, like they just didn't divorce. It's like with the painting. I wanted to start painting or writing the stuff. It's like, I just try it.
So, yeah, art, obviously. We've known that you did art, but you're writing now.
I started writing travel zines and poetry zines in the 90s. I'm always writing something down, but I've started a novel that's ridiculously convoluted. We'll see what happens. I'm, you know, working around it. But then I took the last 30 years of poetry and kind of willed it down to 50 poems. 30 years of like, oh, why doesn't she like me? Or, oh, I like her. I'm chasing her around on porches and drinking. I'm like, if you can't find the asshole in the poem, it's probably you. People that like poetry, people that don't. Some people buy it just because it's a Lucero. Some people, but this, yeah. So,
do you have hair plugs?
No.
No, I'm just joking.
Oh.
Crandall dared me to ask people that. So.
You know what the greatest, terriblest thing that Crandall did, and it's amazing, was that it was in Buffalo, New York, outside of the the thunder, like whatever the word. But he yelled across a parking lot, "Brian Venable hates black people." And you immediately go, "No, I don't. They don't know who the Brian Venable is." You just, it's instinct to be like, "No, I don't."
You just pointed yourself out.
Yeah. So yes, the hair plugs tracks. But yeah, that was one of those ones where it's just like, motherfucker. Like, you just instinctively have to defend yourself. But if you just shut up, you know.
Well, thanks for giving me the soundbite I need.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, well, let's let's want to wrap it up. Just kind of want to come here and shoot the shit with you. So,
yeah.
Anything else?
No, I mean, thank you for doing this.
No, thank you.
Again, I could talk until that camera falls apart. So it's a good thing that you called this game.
Yep. All right. Yeah, because I got to edit this stuff.
I'm saying. Like, don't you want to edit a full-length 2-hour interview with me?
No.
I don't understand.